So there's the noodles. We got to work on these. I was working on them earlier. Oh, there's a hype train coming. Pardon me, guys. Oh, did I hit the camera? I think I did. Let's adjust this a wee bit. Let's get Beholder-kun, Beholder-senpai, in the shot as he observes my drawing and painting with a critical eye. I think that is okay. Mika, what is up, Mika? How's it going? So, yeah, I was just working on making some Sprue Goo, and I'm just about to start painting. This is actually the sticker sheet for the noodles, and I'm just using it as a reference to ensure that I'm painting the things the right color. Now, this brown thing, I don't know what that is. Is that like fried tofu or something, or is it some sort of is it some kind of protein? I'm actually not sure. I took some photo reference when I was looking up videos of the actual vending machine. And once again, this is all for the for this thing here, the vending machine kit. It came with these noodles, and I'm just double checking to see what the noodles look like in IRL. Okay, here, I think I can show you guys an example of a painted version of this kit, and it looks really nice actually. Dying of boredom, so it came onto Twitch. Alright. Oh, it's Seaweed. This guy painted it like Seaweed right here. And right here, it was painted to look like maybe like a slice of ham. And this is painted more like yellow kind of egg-based noodles. I'm painting them kind of more brownish. But I think that the sort of seaweed green will look good, so I will probably go with that. The seaweed and then the Naruto. Oh, here's an example of the real life noodles that come in the vending machine. This one right here. You can actually look it up on YouTube. There's like a couple of videos out there of people that have purchased it, and it kind of looks like that. It's another one. But I don't think that's udon. Here's a shot of the vending machine in real life. And you can see it like just from that one shot, this one close-up shot, it's fairly accurate to the real thing, which is kind of cool. All right, so I think we've settled on seaweed green, and now let's get our wet palette here. Going for a run. I'll be back in about 20 minutes. All right, Mika. Enjoy your run. That's good. It's a good activity. I should actually exercise more. I used to do so for several months during like the early part of the pandemic, like the year one, season 1 of the pandemic. I took up yoga, and now I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that like I was like super amazing at yoga, or that I took really thorough and sophisticated lessons in yoga. In fact, I just played Wii Fit, the yoga that's offered in Wii Fit, and I'm sure that it's a far cry from like really good proper yoga lessons. And actually I did briefly move on to doing more yoga via YouTube, just finding some yoga lessons and stuff on YouTube. But it was good. Like I felt really awesome after doing yoga. Just that. So, I mean, I should probably get back into that, to be honest. Okay, I think we need Dark Angel's Green, or whatever the heck it's called these days. Let me, give me a second, guys, while I get the paint that I need. Is it here? Dark Angel's Green. Ah, here we are. And we'll need something to lighten it up. And I also need to shake this paint too, so pardon me, folks, while I do a bit of shaking. And we can do a little chatting too. This is it. It's called Caliban Green, but I mostly remember it as Dark Angel's Green. And this one here is Moot Green, which is somewhat close to Snot Green, somewhere in between Snot Green and Goblin Green. These are all the names of the colors from the before times, from a long time ago. The names have changed since then, and I don't really recall what they go by these days. Or, well, I do recall because it's just right here. But I don't care to call them what they're referred to now. And while I'm shaking the paint, I can talk about some other things that I have on my painting table that I might work on soon. And this guy's just off screen. Whoop, there he is. This guy, Borborgimos from Magic the Gathering. It's a big lad. It's a big boy over here. And I bought this around the time of my birthday as well. Visited a comic shop slash, general nerdy place, hobby store. And they had these models, which I didn't even know existed. I know that Wizards of the Coast make models for Dungeons and Dragons, but I didn't know they made stuff for Magic the Gathering. Although, to be honest, at this point, it's all it's nearly interchangeable at this point. Like Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, they're all owned by the same company, and they've kind of like bled into one another at some point. So. And crossed over, so yeah, it's all kind of the same thing to some extent. I'm still shaking the paint. Gotta make sure to shake this stuff pretty thoroughly. And so yeah, this guy's from Magic the Gathering. I did a fair amount of preparation for this guy in terms of cleaning it up and investigating like how much detail was lost in the pre-priming, because this stuff is pre-primed. So I actually kind of stripped some of the paint off of it, some of the primer off of it, trying to get to the original plastic. And it seemed like the detail was just about the same, actually. The level of detail was fairly well preserved. And I'm noticing now that this axe is quite bent, which is a little annoying. I have to heat this up, I guess, and bend it back. The kind of plastic that WizKids uses is a lot more bendable than your typical polystyrene used in model kits or Warhammer stuff. And I think if I just apply some heat from like a warm bowl of water, or just coming off the stove from boiling, I think it'll bend back into shape. It was in a box for a while, and it must have got bent in the box, annoyingly enough. So that's something I might want to work on. Maybe even today, we'll see. Not 100% sure. And let me get some paint, guys. Paint brushes, that is. Get out my trusty brushes. I think this is enough. I probably need to do some cleanup on some of these brushes. Seems like they may have gotten something on it that kind of messed up the texture of them. I think that's enough shaking. We're just gonna paint the seaweed, and I think this dark green is good enough. It's kind of thin. You want it thin, but possibly too thin. We shall see. I do like that one example that I had seen as I was looking at the examples that I took pictures of. There was that one that made this flat square look like a piece of ham, like a slice of deli meat kind of ham, I guess. That looked really nice, but I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could paint a piece of ham at this scale, at this small, like all the swirls and stuff. One thing I feel like the soba noodles that I painted here, they look like dry soba noodles rather than wet ones. They kind of have that like the look of flour, like they've got like a floury powder dust on top of it, which is it's not what we really want, but we're just gonna continue on. Night trap looking good. What is that? It's a spinning triangle. Is that some kind of destiny thing? How's it going, Night trap? Are we in for part 2 of The Mandalorian today? Bits. Oh, the bits. Oh. Is that like my animation for using bits? I guess I should make a better animation for people that use bits. I didn't even think about that. I gotta go and take a look. Should be done today. Nice. I took some paint, by the way. And the clippers. If you're wondering where they are, I took them. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to need them. And I'm guessing this this seaweed, it'll look more, all of this will look a little more realistic once we put some gloss coat on top. Done the basic assembly at the very least, eh? Just want to make sure we get the entire surface of this seaweed. Dollar store doesn't have any of those O. Henry bites. Oh no. They go to the you have to go to the grocery store. I bet Dollar Store will get them when that promotion is totally over and they don't even work anymore. That sounds like the perfect time for a Dollar Store to start carrying them. Okay. Okay. This actually looks like a really good color for the seaweed. And seaweed is pretty dark and there really isn't any highlights to them, so I don't think we need to do any kind of highlighting on the seaweed here. Let's take another quick look, especially when it gets immersed into some kind of soup. It just turns into like a dark green goop. Now let's see. What was... Let's take a look at our sticker here. Oh. There's some kind of sprig, like 2 little sprigs of green onion. Am I going to put the gloss glaze on it? Yep, I am. Gonna do that for sure. I think that'll really make it look really, really nice. So the green onion, I think we can put a little... let's mix some of this into our Dark Angel green, and that can be the green onion. Green onion. Yeah, definitely going to add some of that clear gloss, and I think it'll give it a nice look to it. Hopefully. Alright. Alright, now let's see. The tooth, there's like 2 lines. They're very kind of hard to see, but I'm using total concentration breathing here. Okay. This is a much lighter green than what they're suggesting on the sticker, but it feels right to me. I don't know. There we go. Two sprigs of green onion. Now I have to think of cool bits icons. Yeah, I actually, if you hover over the channel points, I changed the name of the channel points, but I didn't change the image yet. I gotta do that later today. I gotta change the image of the channel points. Bits icons, and animations, I guess. Energon cubes. Yep. I was thinking about calling it souls or something and having the icon for souls. But I was like, doesn't seem as funny. Now let's look at our sticker reference again, and we're the swirly fish cake thing, which I understand is called Naruto, just like the anime. Let's see. The swirly little fish cake thing. Gonna paint that, but we're gonna paint the pink swirl first. Maybe I should paint the... Okay, tell you what. For one of them, we'll paint the pink swirl first, and then for another one, we will paint the... we'll paint it white first, and we'll see, and put the pink after. We'll see which looks better. Because the detail is so small. It's got to shake up these paints too. These right here. Were you able to get some of these things, Night Trap? Were you able to find? I actually started my next batch of Sprue Glue here, waifu juice, as some call it. Started the next batch. I have to periodically... Oh, you got one? Good, good, good. I'm wondering what else I'll need to actually do seam line removal on, because none of it seems too bad, and I've actually just by using the normal kind of like pinching method, I don't know what you want to call it, like the other method to kind of get rid of the gaps, I was able to really get rid of most of it. I think white is the only thing that's for her blouse. That's the only other thing that I would probably need to fix. Alright, so now we're doing the white. Do you remember at that hobby store that we went to in Kingston, they had a different brand of paint that was like from Canada? It's kind of curious. I kind of want to, if we're ever back down that way, want to check it out. I want to just try one of them, just see how it is. You never know. Could be actually half decent. The thing about if I paint white and then use capillary action to put the pink into the swirl, nevertheless, I'll still have to go back over with some white. And I think we can go in with some white flecks, like some white reflective bits into the noodles, just to make it look a little more wet. So when you combine that with the gloss, it'll look really good, I think. I just realized that you and I have been streaming for just over a year now, because you streamed last year during May the 5th, right? And so we're back to May the 5th, or well, now it's May the 4th be with you. You did that last year, and we're back around to it now, just passed. So that means we've been streaming for just over 2 years. What was the name? What was the name of what? Sorry, kind of lost track of the conversation here. What was the name? Oh, of the brand of paint, I'm sure you're asking. I actually don't recall what the name of the paint was. And that store doesn't have a website, at least not a fully finished website just yet. So we're kind of left high and dry. We don't know. But like I said, I wouldn't mind trying it out. The paint, yeah. It came in a bottle like this, and it was or did it come in a bottle like this? Now I'm having second thoughts, some doubts. But I'm pretty sure it was Canadian made, which is kind of interesting. My feeling is, how bad could it really be? It's probably half decent, right? Maybe at worst, it'll be like it might not be as good. Maybe it'll be too thick, and then you can add some water, but even then, that's not so bad, right? Adding some water. Alright, just mixing up this pixie pink, pink eye pink. Whoop. I don't think it needs to be this. I feel like we need to mix it more. This Army Painter paint definitely needs to be mixed more. They actually sell, Army Painter sell little steel ball bearings, just like what's inside of a spray can, to help act as an agitator. And I feel like they kind of know that that's an issue with the paint that they make, is that it needs to be mixed a whole lot more. It's made in Denmark, home of Lego. Does it need to be this pink? Let me take a look at the reference here. Yeah, that's actually a pretty close approximation here. So I was about to mix some white into this pink here, but I think that's actually probably good enough. See that? Pretty close. This is the pink, which I think is pretty close. So now we're gonna try and paint the swirl for this other one. We'll paint this pink first and then paint white over it and see how that works. And I feel like the paint needs to be much thinner because the detail is kind of shallow. Do you know at that Geeked Out that we went to, there was a store that sold little food things, like food sculptures of candy and ice cream. And yeah, the thought did occur to me that that might actually be pretty good scale for my model. So next time, if I see them around, or actually I can find out who they were just by looking at the Geeked Out website. Maybe they have a website or a Twitter or an Etsy, and I can see about picking some up from them. If they're if they're a good enough scale, I'd give them a shot. Let's see, I'm not sure if we got the whole swirl there. There we go. And so now we're going to try and use the thinner version of this stuff and kind of get it into the grooves of the other one that I painted. Basically, we're trying to see which method we like here. Painting the pink first and then white over it, or painting white first and then pink into the grooves. There we go. And we might have to do a couple more drops of pink. As we let it dry. So now we'll go back to the white and we'll try and paint white around this pink. Let's see how that looks. Let's get another drink here. Yeah, and once we've painted these swirls here, then we can just get to the fun stuff and put some of that gloss coat on it. See what happens. I'm pretty much just dabbing the paint on very lightly and just hoping the raised detail catches the paint. I'm not trying to smush it on. And again, this is one of those total concentration breathing situations. Can't really look at chat. They both look okay. The one where I used like a thin down pink to get into the grooves, the pink is not as vibrant because it's so thin down, right? And this one, the pink looks a lot more vibrant. However, the white part isn't as solid. Gotta go over it a few times. The Naruto. There you go. Oh, that looks nice, actually. That's looking pretty good. I think this method was the winner. Let's see, enhance focus. Do it. Do it. Can it go this? Can it focus this close? Not really, I guess. In any event, I'll be taking some pictures of this. Wow! I'll be taking some pictures of it so we can get a better look at it. Let's actually add a bit of white to the tips of the green onion. You know how green onion kind of gets a little darker towards the top and then a little lighter towards the bottom? Let's add a bit of that onto our stalks of green onion, because I think that'll look good. Gotta think of some other things I can do with my channel points. There's actually, so when you look at Twitch and some of the extensions that you can get, there's actually a lot. It's something that that you should investigate as well. Night Trap. There's stuff that you can do outside of using channel points as well. I mean, you can get like a better outline, or what's it called? A better UI interface, a better presentation thing. There's all sorts of stuff. I haven't really looked into it too much myself. I was looking at the Instagram add-on, but I haven't added it on yet myself. Gotta take a look at that. Okay. There's stuff like catching Pokemon. I've seen that around. I don't know if you've seen that around in other streams, where like people have some kind of extension where like Pokemon show up on the screen and then people can try and catch it. I have no idea how that all works. I just know it's some kind of extension. Oop, I put in too much. I took too much green. green, green, green. Total concentration breathing. Okay, the green onion is done. And yeah, the noodles, I'm sorry, the Naruto looks pretty tasty, pretty nice, actually. We'll touch up the other one here. It needs a bit more white. This is one of the smallest details that I've ever painted, to be honest. I mean, when it comes to Warhammer, yes, the models are detailed. However, the details are often quite large. Like, for example, if a model happens to have chains, right? The chains are quite large. If a model has like skulls on its shoulder pads or something, you know, the skulls are quite large. But something like this, like the actual individual strands of noodles, very, very small. So it's kind of a different challenge for me. But I think it actually looks really nice when it's done, so it's kind of fun. Maybe I'll paint more food things. Okay. Need a bit more of that. Yeah, so the pink for this one here isn't as vibrant because I thinned it down. Okay. And I think that's just about it for these noodles in terms of the painting. So now we need to go in with the clear gloss, but thinking about it a little more, I kind of wanted to add little specks of a white highlight to some of the noodles to get that really wet look. So let's do that. The manufacturers of this line of models, Hasegawa, they make a couple of other things that interest me. And it's not just limited to food. They made a burger vending machine, which is a little less exciting to me. I think the burger vending machine is just about the same dimensions as the one that I have. However, it doesn't come with a sculpted burger model in the same way that this comes with what you see right here, a bowl of noodles. So that's a little less attractive to me. It does come with like a cardboard box that you fold up, and it's supposed to be the burger inside. But I would really, really want a burger model if I'm gonna buy a vending machine. But they also make a gashapon machine, like an egg prize toy thing, and that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to find at this point. I guess it was fairly popular, right? There's a lot of people. It kind of has crossover appeal because I'm sure model makers were kind of interested in it, especially if they have you know, if they're trying to make a diorama or a scene. Okay. Okay, I think we need a little more white flecks. But also action figure collectors, people who buy like Marvel superhero models and stuff like that. The general scale of those, they're about 6 inches tall. Just about. That's really good. That's a really good size. And it seems fairly compatible with the Hasegawa line of 1/12 scale stuff like this. So you can have like Daredevil and the Punisher stop by the vending machines, get some gachapon toys, get some noodles. You can have Thanos pick up some porno. That's the other thing that this line, it's like Nostalgic Vending Machine. That's the name of the line by Hasegawa. They're making a porno mag / DVD vending machine. I don't think a model was shown just yet, just like a diagram, like illustrations of how it's going to look. But like, I mean, they go from noodles. They go from noodles to Pinot. Okay, so this is actually the Sprue Glue. Let's take a look and see how it's doing. We have to kind of periodically mix it around. And I think we need to add a bit more of the Tamiya thinner, which we'll do right now. We'll clean this off. And we'll set this aside because this will be our goopy cleaning shit. Okay, let's close this real quick because it smells. It's not like the worst thing in the world, but it smells. I think the worst smelling stuff that I've currently have is definitely the what was it? The varnish, the top coat. Ugh. All right, here we go. Let's get this ready. Put that there. There you go. That should be enough. When it comes time to replacing this and buying a new one, still got quite a lot left, of course. You know, I'm barely using it for gluing models. You only need a very, very small amount. But when it does come time to replacing this, you don't have to buy this exact same product again. You can buy airbrush cleaner. And that is actually the same formula minus like 1 or 2% for some of the ingredients. And you can buy like a larger tub of it, and it'll last you a little longer for just a bit more. Oh yeah, so now I need that clear stuff. Where is it? Where is it? Ah, here we are. Let's let this dry a bit before we get onto that. Some whistling. So after we apply this stuff, we'll set it aside, and we'll see how it fares. But maybe we'll examine this model again and put some more weathering on it if it needs anything else, and just have it ready for spraying top coat, because I have to see how top coat reacts to that before we attempt to apply it to Ritsuka, of course. Let's see, let us fill up on our Rockstar right here. Let's go. purple. I like this stuff a lot more than the second one. The first one that I got was not good. It was like 0 sugar, which is, you know, it's healthier, sure. Less fun. And it was just kind of blah. So we're waiting on this. And if you look at the clear eye on Beholder Senpai here, it does have a bit of that gloss on it. And you can see it kind of does reflect the light a bit. And that's what we're going to be doing, applying that to these noodles here. Get a bit of a wet look to it and some depth. Although, I think at some point I'm going to buy some resin and play around with resin. I think Night Trap was looking at some of that too for his diorama that he might be working on. But I know that Canadian Tire sells a resin pen, and I might want to try that. That could be interesting. A resin pen. And we get a lot of control. You can just sort of pour the resin out into there. And then the opposite side of the pen has the UV light that you just shine on it. And that would be a done dollar. All right. I think that's sufficiently dry. Let's try this. And I think the strategy is not to pour it out into a wet palette like this, and rather just take it straight from the source and clean it that way. But I think, all right, let's just get some water here. Just pour it here. We're gonna clean it. We'll clean it up in this. We'll clean up the brush in that. Okay. Let's see here. Should I shake it? I don't think it matters. I have shooketh previously. Okay, let's just. It isn't balanced. The way that I glued this on, it's kind of imbalanced. The bowl is almost full. Okay. And I'm wondering if I should have put some, like a hint of yellow mixed in, but it's a little too late for that now. We'll see how that dries. I'm guessing it'll kind of shrink a bit too. But yeah, you can see that there's some depth to it now. I'm assuming it's gonna dry. Well, let's see. Let's see how that turns out. As a clear broth, it looks a little weird, but maybe we can kind of lightly dab some like really a thin yellowish, very lightly yellow glaze on top, and that'll make it look like a yellowish soup broth. Maybe.